Welcome everybody to today's sit down. I am particularly excited about this episode because not many of us have the opportunity to actually come so close to it's amazing the creative level of experts we have in our room. They are normally behind the cameras on some of South Africa's #1 shows. We can start with Euphonik music videos and go all the way to the History Channel and everything in between, like M-Town and Ray of Blade, the show that they produced for us. These two gentlemen are the brains behind all the award-winning content that they create. It is an honor, it is an absolute pleasure to have them in our studio today. Michiel and Marno, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Bobby. Thank you.
Awesome to have you guys here.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
So, I'm going to kick it off with my favorite question, and that is, who were you at 17? So you guys are very young, that's like a couple of years ago. So, are you a sporty type? Are you playing rugby? Are you doing drama? What's your priority list? What's important? What's not important at the age of 17? I'd love to know from you. Maybe we can start with you.
Perfect. So on 17, I did play sports on school.
Okay.
I like tennis.
Tennis, okay.
I stopped with tennis around 17, 16, but I liked tennis on school and played rugby on school. I enjoyed rugby a lot. I wasn't very fond of school. I didn't like studying, didn't like writing exams.
Why? It didn't grab you?
It just didn't grab me. It wasn't. I didn't see the need of studying all of this irrelevant information and I'm not going to use.
Fully agree.
So I didn't like it. I was very entrepreneurial in school as well. I don't know if you remember the Power Balance bands that came out.
Yes.
So my dad imported a lot of those, and me and my friend were selling them on school, making a lot of money from that. And we enjoyed it, and we also sold Dr. Dre earphones.
The Beats.
Yes,
before it became Beats, it was Dr. Dre earphones.
It was first Dr. Dre before Beats, and we were selling that on school. So on school I more enjoyed the off time, the break, and with the friends and the sports than actually the studying and writing exams. I didn't.
A lot of creative people tend to lean towards that angle, because unless something grabs you at school, like if you are a natural born doctor and you love biology, you love science, you love those riddles, an entrepreneurial person like you, no sir, I fully agree. I tend to lean towards, I would have been good friends with you in school. I fully agree. How about you, Michiel?
So when I was 17, I started getting into music.
Okay.
Like guitar, piano, just to improve your skill.
So you were the guy that was taking all the chicks from everybody else because you were chilling with your guitar during breaks.
So it's actually the other way around.
Okay.
I didn't have time for chicks.
Okay, busy with
I was busy practicing. So I would be at a braai or at an event or festival or whatever, but I would be in a corner with my guitar, playing scales, going up and down, trying to get it perfect. So that was me at 17. Want to be in a band, tour the country, make music. So that was more my thing, was the creative, to push the boundaries on that. So yeah, it's not as exciting as Marno, but yeah, that was...
Marno is hustling, selling earphones, bracelets, and anything he can get his hands on.
Yeah, so that was more my journey.
I sold cigarettes at school to all my friends, so yeah, I was also hustling.
She made good money.
Lots of money, yeah.
Yeah, so if I had to try and make money, we would like gig and do shows and entertain people. So that was more like that, yeah.
I think, starting to get a little bit of a picture why this is such a beautiful relationship, because the complement of a hardcore entrepreneurial person versus the creative together, and I can see you guys are good friends. I mean, the chemistry is, you guys are like brothers, and that's why that bond carries through in the content that you create. Awesome. So Coolerbox Brothers, so I've got a couple of versions in my head of how that name came up. How do you guys meet? Do you meet at school and decide, let's make a content creation mogul of a company and become the best in the country? How does that relationship form?
Yeah, so after I did the music thing, I sent out my audio reel to record companies.
Okay.
Because I wanted to start making music for TV and for adverts. So the one record label that got my audio reel and they replied to me was Funk Musiek.
Funk. Like a...
Funk, like a spark. Funk Musiek.
Are they still around, by the way?
Yes.
Okay,
yeah,
awesome.
Yeah, big record label.
Big record label.
They've
okay.
got big, like Jan Blohm. And
okay, yes.
Landmines and like, big artists.
Beautiful. So they reached out?
So they were the only people that actually replied and said, listen, come in for an interview. And I was like, okay, but bring your guitar. But so back in my mind, I wanted to get involved with studio music, like produce music. Anyway,
yes.
So I got there and Koen, he's the owner of Funk Musiek, and he thought I was coming to do an interview for an audition to be an artist, to be signed.
Okay.
And then I told him, no, I want to work in a studio.
Yes.
And at that stage, there wasn't a studio on site. So he had a production, like they were filming music videos and things. So that I got involved with the video side there. But at that stage, so Koen, and Marno Koen, so Marno is his son. So Marno
was... That's the connection.
10 or 11 when I met Koen.
How old were you then?
So I was 21.
Okay. Right. So you are Obud.
Yes. So that's how I got to know Marno, was when he was very young, and I introduced him to rock music and maybe different things. One day we can talk about it.
Off-camera discussion.
Yeah, but so that's how I got to know Marno, and from the beginning our relationship was like it's family, like so
brotherly. Yes.
Yes. So there was always a mutual respect. Doesn't matter if he's much younger than me or it's a mutual respect. And then Marno. So we started doing the video things, and it started picking up, and the videos got approved on television and on the big channels, and they started doing really well. And all the while, Marno he's growing up, and he's also seeing this, and then he started to get involved with it. So when he was like 15, 16, he would help out on set. He would come through and help. Like it doesn't matter if you have to carry bags or if you have to carry equipment or make coffee or whatever, so you help out. And so
proximity, wants to be close.
He wants to see, yeah.
Yes, yeah.
So the exoskeleton of a locust at school is not grabbing your attention, but this is, because this is creating cool content and you're seeing it on TV. It's like we did that. I carried the bags. I can see that.
Yeah. So what is interesting about this is, so Kobe, his dad, while I'm looking up to him and I'm learning from him, that like distills down, and then Marno is also like he's also gaining from the same experience. And looking up,
because his relatability is more likely to hit home with you, because you are, am I correct to say that you're speaking a different love language than your dad is? Because you're getting first-hand experience of actually doing it, and your dad's the visionary. He's selling this vision of what this could be, and he's executing. Am I reading the relationship right?
Yes, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. And then so Marno, by the time he has to go and study, he decided to go and study at AFDA.
Yes, to study film, because I was very confused to what I actually want to do, and I was just helping on set with Michal on music videos.
And your off time while you're making money at school, yeah, obviously, yeah.
So it was grabbing my attention, and I really enjoyed it, because growing up there was a lot of different jobs that I thought I would want to do, and it was difficult for me to just pinpoint one and just put everything on. Okay, I want to do this. And what was nice for me about the film industry and the music videos and stuff, it was every day was different. It wasn't the same routine, day to day, come to the office, just sit behind a computer and do the same thing you did yesterday and the week before. So that was interesting for me, and it's still like that. Every different TV show is almost like it's a different job, because one day you're working with house agents and the next day you're working with restaurants. So that was really, that really grabbed me, and I really enjoyed.
And
working on
Coolerbox
sets.
Brothers, where does that name come from?
So on university, there was always a Coolerbox with me.
There's
and
always
that's
a
where,
Coolerbox. Yeah, how else?
and that's where the Coolerbox brother came from. And then we just decided to make it Coolerbox Brothers because of the two of us.
Because of the two. Beautiful. I love the name. It's very catchy. So you guys have worked on hundreds of productions, if not thousands.
Yeah.
Thousands of productions. Is there any interesting stories? You don't need to name names that you can think of off the top of your head, like a cool experience or a scary experience or something that like today was really different. Every day is different, but today was really different. Can you identify something that you can think of? You've got something already.
I have to think of it. There's a lot of stuff that happens.
Let me just think.
Okay, no problem. We'll bounce back to that one.
Ons baie goeters.
Maybe something that happened that you thought, wow, that wasn't safe. That wasn't safe. So I'll give you one of my experiences with you. So we're filming for Joe Black's show, Doodgewone Joe, and there's a drift car. I don't know if you guys remember that. Were you on set that day?
I just got there.
Okay, so I nearly died. I was like, wow, that was close. So the guy's busy doing the drifting, and we had one of the camera girls that was filming us looking at the drift car.
Yes.
And the guy got very excited, obviously, in the car, and he was doing donuts, and there was smoke, and it was the smells, the sounds, everything. She is just stone cold. She's got a camera, and she's just dead quiet. The guy spins out of control, comes up to her within this much. Everybody's screaming, pulling her out of the way. She's dead quiet. She's just filming it. She's like, I have to do my job. I'm not moving here. Even if the car drives over me. I was like, geez, this was an exciting day. She's just stone cold. I'm here to do a job.
No, that was, luckily nothing happened.
Absolutely nothing, yeah. The guy got very excited, and we spoke to him, and then he started doing his thing further away. But yeah, I was like, that was actually a dangerous situation on set.
Yes.
That gave me a big fright as well.
Yeah.
So, interesting things that always happens is when you do aerial videography.
With a drone.
So this is before drones.
Before drones.
So
you were the drone.
Yeah, you are the drone.
Wow,
so
okay.
Become the drone, right? So
be the drone.
Yeah. So you would be flying like biplanes, right? So those are the planes with the two wings. So we were busy filming a music video, and we have an artist, he's in a biplane, and there's another biplane, the chase plane, and I would be in that filming the other plane, and the guys would start doing aerial.
And you strapped in.
Tricks. You're strapped in to a certain extent, but yeah, so that's interesting. And when you also did a lot of photography things for the police, and then you have to lean out of the helicopters while they fly over. They want to photograph things, so that's also very interesting.
Awesome. How many takes did you have to take on that biplane chase? And on what video was it? Can you remember?
So that was a Joe F. Vliegmachine music video.
Awesome. I'm going to go and check it out.
Yeah, so that was I think we had like 30 minutes to film everything. So you film and you use what you get. So you can't really communicate between.
You just go and give it your best.
Yes,
awesome. That's exciting. How about you, sir?
Dis Bobby. There's
so many.
Something interesting.
Yeah.
Anything interesting?
Anything that pops up to mind.
Well, when he spoke about the drones, it came up now that because in the beginning I'm not a drone operator, but I like gadgets and I've learned how to operate it. So I had this reputation of losing the drones.
Losing them
wow. On set. So it happened twice with me. We were filming a TV show also with different houses, and we were in PE that time. And the wind is terrible in PE. So we're getting this beautiful shot of the drone in the house pulling out to just establish where the house is situated from inside to outside. And I'm getting the shot, and the director tells me, let's get the beach so we can see it's in PE. And he says he's happy, and I stop recording, and I want to bring the drone back, and he doesn't want to come back. and it's just going and going and going.
Lost signal.
No, the wind was too strong. It couldn't fight against the wind, and I was trying to go down and up and just get out of that wind pocket, and it just didn't.
So I think that drone is right now filming in Antarctica somewhere. So I can't wait to see that footage.
Yeah.
Jeez, okay.
And it happened before with a documentary also filmed. It was in Golden Gate. We were filming mountains and the nice area of Golden Gate. And it also just went over the one mountain, and then when it lost signal, it wanted to come home.
Yes.
And I didn't see in the settings, you have an altitude, so how high it must go when it comes home.
Okay.
And the mountain was, so the maximum with the drone I was flying was 500 meters.
And the mountain
And
was
the mountain
600.
was, no, it was like 490 meters, I would say.
But
it was
trees
just,
maybe.
and then the set altitude to home was 100 meters. So it goes to 100 meters and it comes home. And then just as soon as it went over the mountain, it wanted to come home and it went into the mountain. And they had to actually send someone on a horse to go fetch it because you couldn't get a car up there.
But you still got the footage.
Yes, we got the footage
Awesome.
of that. Yeah.
Awesome. We'll get the footage of Antarctica one day when we go there. We're
Yes.
going to have to use a ship probably. A horse won't help us.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. Yes, and I mean, you know, talking to people that have done things. So you've got a trifecta. You guys have studied it. It's your passion. You've done it, and you've got the result to prove it. It's always interesting, you know, more interesting than somebody that has a one-dimensional view of, you know, I studied design and you know I'm going to be a designer. You guys have done it. You know, you've solved problems that people going into your industry don't even know exist. I know you have. But if you could perhaps take one thing back with you that you've learned over the years, you know, working with the diversity of people that you've worked with the team that you currently have, with each other, and you know, advise the people watching this, like, what's the one thing that you would take and say, you know, I wish I knew this when I got started. It would have helped me. So that perhaps you can save somebody 3, 5, 10, 20 years worth of mistakes and add the value to them now. I don't know who wants to start. What's the one thing that I wish I knew this when I started?
Yeah, so the one thing that I would impart on people is work with people that think like you. People are not the same, right? So
No
you
two
get,
people are the same.
right? But you need to surround yourself with people that kind of they've got the same work ethic, the same values, and the same drive that you also have, because it's difficult to explain to someone that doesn't see the vision or they don't understand how you're going to get or the end point. So I would definitely say get people in your life that
are like-minded.
Think like you, yeah, like-minded.
I agree with you. I mean, you know, we've got a common friend, and you know, he's my running mate. He's the guy that I bounce the most things with, and his name is Vince. He's off camera, so he's doing what you guys are doing today, and it's very difficult to find someone that is willing to bear the pain with you because of the bigger goal. It's difficult to find that. Normally, you know, eventually they get tired and say, listen, we've solved a million problems. We have progressed here. It's enough. It's rare to find a like-minded person that is as driven. It's very rare. I agree with you.
I also agree, because you need to have someone you like working with.
You
Because
have to
otherwise,
enjoy
why
it.
are you doing it? You have to enjoy
Absolutely,
it.
Absolutely. Because at one other stage, doing anything in business, you know, people want you to succeed until you succeed. You know, how do your competitors view you now versus when you two were very young and coming up? I know how the competitors viewed me. They said, you know, you're doing well. Well done. You guys did 50 cars. Like, keep it up. All of a sudden, the moment that we did 450 cars, you know, that's not the conversation. You know, now you're a threat because you're taking market share. So you need the people in your life that are like-minded, that will push you through. Agrees?
Yes,
What
I
would you
agree.
take back?
I would also say, I think a lot of people going into the industry, they think it's quick money, It's not as hard work, and it's really hard work. It's 16 18-hour days.
Yeah.
If you go to set, it's 12 hours, and before that, it's still driving there, and it's early mornings, late nights, work at home till late at night. So that's something that a lot of people they underestimate it, I think, is they don't realize how much you have to put in to succeed, and there's no quick way to that success.
There's no quick way. Agree. Yeah, every time you make a piece of content, I know I've worked enough with creative people. It's a piece of your soul, and it's never perfect, because 10 minutes later you've seen an angle that might work better, and you have to, like, let's go another take. Let's go. I've been on sets with you guys, and your team is hyper professional. Like, I'm like, yeah, I'm happy with it. It's good, and you know, George, your director, like, you know, George comes from the side. He's like, no, I don't like it. I heard something, or I heard an aeroplane, or he heard something in his head. Let's go again. So yeah, that's super good advice. Long hours, and because of the long hours, work with people that are like-minded, that have that drive with you.
Yeah, and now that you mentioned George, so
he's a cool dude. I really like him.
So that also comes back to the surround yourself with people that are like-minded.
Yes.
George is also very much a big part of
our success,
and how we and the type of people that we enjoy working with.
Yeah, absolutely. Like-minded, work ethic, and is not afraid to do something until he's happy with it.
Yes, and the big thing is, like, you can't do this by yourself. You need a big, strong team, and everyone doing their work and coming together.
It's a valid point, you know. Also in the studio with us, and you know, she's a regular on our channel, like Anna Marie, that runs our F&I department. You know, without her, that department doesn't run. But again, shared vision, long hours, that's how that department keeps up, you know, with the demand of the rest of the departments. And not only keeps up, most of the time pulls the rest of the departments up. It's that like-minded shared vision and work ethic.
A good leader.
Yeah, she's a good leader. She's a good leader. Otherwise, they won't be able to keep up. Now, awesome. That's awesome advice. So, for the viewers that are starting out, not only in content creation, in anything, I mean, surround yourself with people that are like-minded, and don't discount the hard work. You can watch 50 motivational videos, and at 9 o'clock the motivation runs out. The strategy and the work ethic needs to kick in. Yeah, I saw a Vusi video this morning, and he said, you know, I love his stuff, and he said, the elite winners don't need motivation. They just need habits. They need habits. I don't do something because, you know, because I want to. I do it because I freaking have to. I do 16 hours because I want the best possible content to come out.
Yes.
So that's amazing. We're on the tail end of COVID. You know, I came from America 2 weeks ago, and it was the best. I'd land there. They've got PCR tests, COVID tests, what you had for breakfast tests, temperature, they're poking everywhere. And then you get there, and the guy says, welcome to America, sir. You don't need to wear your mask. I'm like, so, you know, you're testing me for everything. I'm coming there as a danger to you. You're a danger to me. But I mean, that's just a joke. But I mean, it's awesome to be... it was very uncomfortable in the beginning. Then I'm like, yes, this is how we should live. There was no masks. So we're at the tail end of COVID. But I want to dive into it because you guys are young, and, you know, we're like-minded in the sense that it affected our businesses the same way. You couldn't, I mean, during COVID, you couldn't create any content. You couldn't interact with people. If you could share with us a lesson that you learned from COVID specifically, and, you know, how you grew out of that whole nightmare, if I might call it.
So I would say, with the team and everyone, we really quickly learned to adapt to it. Not sit back and complain about COVID coming and look at all the negative of what the world pandemic had. I think everyone just quickly adapted. We learned to do most of it remotely. We were very fortunate that we could already film again in level 4 with permits.
Okay, so you could already?
Yes, just not level 5. We couldn't film anything. But level 4, we already were in studio again filming.
But I mean, that was already like a month and a half, 2 months into it.
Yes.
So for 2 months, no income. You guys run a big show. You've got a big production. So that's lots of pressure.
Yeah, we had to. We're actually starting to balance out now more because with that 2 months that we missed, we had to catch up everything.
Yeah.
In a very tight schedule with the filming. At least our editing and all of that, and the mixing and the grading could happen remotely. Which
I understand. And that doesn't have working hours. The rest of the stuff does. You need daylight. You can't shoot at night.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So that helped a lot, and it was challenging with the filming, even in level 4, because then we're doing like Muziekpaniek. We filmed that. I think that was our first show we filmed.
Straight out of COVID.
Straight out of COVID in studio, with a presenter, guest, and 4 fans of the guest.
Okay.
So what happened was challenging is that a lot of the guests would get COVID, and then they couldn't. And then I must say our team quickly jumped on to get a replacement quite quickly, because it would happen the night before the shoot.
Wow.
So then you have like 2-3 hours in the night to quickly get a replacement for the next day.
Wow.
So, but that's a big thing that I think coming out of COVID now, we've learned that we just had to adapt and not just look at the negative and just put your head down and move forward.
Move forward.
Yeah.
How about you?
Yeah, definitely. What we also realized was that, so when President Cyril Ramaphosa gave that
came on that
announcement, right,
TV, wow.
and he said, guys, that day that we're going into hard lockdown, I don't think anyone actually realized
what that meant.
Yeah.
So we were meant to start filming another TV show, Die Bruid Boutique, on that Monday. When he did that announcement, right? So he said, okay, Wednesday, it's lockdown. So we had to cancel that shoot because we had to go back to the office to get our post-production team sorted out so that they could work remotely. So that was actually very scary, but what I'm very proud of the whole team is that everyone took the bull by the horns and they said, yeah, we can do this. And I mean, there were some teething problems in the beginning, but nothing too serious that we couldn't deliver projects on time, or we couldn't, I mean, there were, like nothing like that happened. So I was really impressed. If you stand back and you look at it, everyone stepped up to the table and made it work.
I think, yeah, especially a team that's run by young, dynamic people, you always sort of on your toes. You can pivot left or right quickly, and those are the companies I think that grew out of COVID as faster, better, stronger companies, because they learned to evolve.
Yeah, that helped a lot for us just to go with it.
Yeah. And I think what we also proved to ourselves and to our clients as well is that it doesn't matter what it takes, we will deliver.
We will deliver,
yes.
Absolutely, yeah. If you've got my word, it's my honor. Yes. I'll make sure that it comes through.
Yeah, if I tell you, if Coolerbox Brothers, this is what we say, and we will come hell or high water, we will deliver.
We will deliver. Beautiful. COVID or no COVID, lockdown or no lockdown, yeah. We'll come and hang out of aeroplanes,
yes,
out of GTIs in the chase, no problem.
Yeah, and I think that's an important lesson in itself, because it's easy to give up and to say, oh, it's COVID, or but maybe when you feel like that, you just need to have a different perspective on it. Just step back, maybe give a step to the left.
Yeah.
And look at it from a different angle.
Just a different lens. Yeah. Just a different lens to the same problem normally solves it. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Next is the landmine question. So this is a segment that we have on our show to perhaps protect up-and-coming content creators, protect the viewers from a mistake that each one of us has made. And I say, giving you the GPS coordinates of where that landmine is exactly, because I'll share mine with you. It blew my leg off. I did survive and I did mend those relationships, but it was a step back. So perhaps, again, we can shorten the journey 2, 3, 5, 10, 20 years for somebody by sharing, mistakes that we've made in our career. I'll start. Up and coming entrepreneur, very passionate, very driven, highly motivated. Aggression and testosterone levels are very high. So I'm driving people the way I'm driven. I want to compete. I want to go out there. I want to kill everybody. I want my company to grow. And if you're singing the same song that I'm singing, I'm driving like, what's wrong with you? Why do you allow this salesperson to beat you? Like, work harder, beat him. And that obviously repels a lot of people that are not driven by madness like I am at that stage of my life. So that's a landmine that I've stepped on that unfortunately cost me a lot of great, phenomenal employees to leave because they felt like I'm toxic. This guy's driving me the wrong way. I don't want to be here, and they left. Eventually, some relationships are mended, but that has taught me to, I manage for success. What do you want? I want X, Y, Z. This is how I'm going to manage it to help you achieve that. I can see you can achieve twice as much, but you don't want it. I'll help you achieve what you want. So that's a landmine that I've stepped on. Perhaps you can share some of yours.
Yeah, so I would definitely say it's interesting. It's always about, landmines are always about personalities or about human interaction. That's where the landmines, that's why they're there. So I would say a big landmine that you need to identify is when you want to do business, you want to be good, good code of conduct, how you work with people.
Yes.
So when you work with clients, you want to be kind, right? You want to provide good service. You want to go the extra mile. But sometimes people abuse that kindness. So you give the finger and they take the hand. So I would advise people, like in the beginning, cut that short. Learn to identify that very quickly because people don't always do it on purpose, but they would see how much they can take from you. So I would say, I would advise, be kind, good service, work well with people, but don't let people walk over you.
Yeah, have a limit. And I think, something that I've learned a while ago is manage expectations up front. That's such a crucial conversation up front. Like, recently promoted a manager. So he was a phenomenal sales manager, now became a branch manager. And, I had the conversation with him. The level of responsibility that you are taking on now is different. I can't treat you the same way. You have a lot more responsibility. Are you comfortable? Yes, I am. So don't say I'm comfortable. You need to understand that, playing for the B team is all cool, fun and games. And when I coach the B team, we're having fun and everything's awesome. When I coach the A team, I'm a different coach because my expectation is higher. And if you can't deliver, then X will happen. Like with a client, sir, I understand this is the payment that you want. This is the deposit that you're giving me. This is the trading value that we're giving you. The only variable that I can't give you now is the bank interest rate. If the bank doesn't approve 7.5 and goes to 9, you understand that the payment will be 400 Rand more. Are we in agreement? Yes, we are. That's managing expectations up front. And if it's not done up front, at the end of the application, the customer says, but I thought you said the payment was going to be 7, now it's 7.4. Like, where are we now? And that's when your finger to the hand, now you start giving away profits and you start paying more for the car, whatever it is. I'm sure in your case, it's the same thing with content. Now we have to give you more because we didn't have the conversation up front. It's a very valuable lesson in someone's career.
Yes, yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, definitely.
What's a landmine?
With me is I feel like it's a eienskap. It's an eienskap.
Yeah, only like a personality trait.
Yeah, I think it's a good trait, but also a bad trait. Is I tend to see just the good in people a lot of times.
It's a good trait.
So, but what happens is then what happened to us before is we've done, like it was also on this documentary, that we've done the whole project, but we've done it before we've received any payment.
Ooh, okay.
And we were thought the payment's going to come in, and it didn't come in. And in the end of the day, we have something very nice to show, but we were never paid for it.
And you've delivered to the customer.
Yes, it's finished. So so that happens. That was a big landmine for me to realize. Like, you can see the good in people, but you must also remember just to be upfront from the beginning. Take your deposit.
That's very important. That's very important. And have you made that same mistake again?
No, I've not made it.
Because you manage expectations
Yes.
up front. So we'll do this project, but when we get here, this is the
payment
deposit.
terms. Yeah,
Exactly. And I think, like you said, I never thought of it that way. Thank you. Like you said, most landmines outside of you having a car accident, that's a landmine that you couldn't have prevented normally unless you're on your phone texting, which we all don't do.
It's illegal.
It's illegal, yes. Most landmines occur because of communication problems. You don't openly discuss issues, and then eventually it explodes and like, shit, how did we end up here? We never spoke about it.
Yes.
We never spoke about it. Awesome. Guys, I think the last 5 minutes, just rewind 5 minutes and listen to it again. I think the value has really been immense. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Bobby.
Now, it takes a village to raise a man or a woman. If you could maybe think of 3 people real quick, this person influenced me this way, this person influenced me this way, this person influenced. What are the 3 people that come to mind? I know there's 3,000, it's a village, but the 3 people that pop up into your mind, firstly, who are they and how did they influence you in the man that you have become today?
So my dad is definitely at the top. Number one, big mentor for me. Visionary helps me. If I ever wonder about things, I can quickly go to him, and he helps me. And from small, he's learned me. If I ask for something, he never said, "Okay, here's the money, go buy it." He says, "Let's see how we can make money for you, to get to that point." It's the same when I wanted my first car. I wanted a nice car, and he said to me, "The car's expensive, but let me." After school in the evenings, let's your uncle and aunt and grandparents have a furniture shop. Let's build that Palisade tables in the evenings. We spray some stuff on it and they can sell it in the shop. And that is how we started making money, for instance, to buy my first car. So my dad always taught me good lessons in life. So I would say definitely right at the top. He helped me where I am today. And then it's not the one I've just met, but it's my first book I wrote. My first book I read, and that's Robert Kiyosaki.
Oh, wow, Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Yes,
beautiful
and
book.
That was an amazing book, and that really opened my eyes to different possibilities out there.
Yeah. I think, touching on what you said about your dad, if you go and listen to some of his latest content, I love the fact that you bring it up. He said, whether a child grows up in a rich home or a poor home, let's take a child that grew up in a rich home. The conversations that child has listened to all his life will automatically program him into successful financial behavior because he understands how money works. Where in a poor household, poor household is not necessarily a household with low income. That's not a poor household. A poor household is a household that has no good monetary foundational beliefs. That's a poor household.
Yes.
That person might grow up to be a drug addict or whatever else the case is, even though they had money. So Rich Dad Poor Dad is that book. I don't think you can ever stop reading it.
No,
once
I've
a
read
year
it
you
twice.
have to. You have to read it. Yeah. And I think your dad, just from what I'm picking up, is the reason from a very young age you were selling Dr. Dre earphones and you were selling power bands because you knew that I could create the income. I don't need to receive it.
Yes.
I have the ability to create it.
Yes, and that was a good lesson that was taught to me from my dad.
Beautiful. And who's the third person?
And then the third person is another book I wrote that I reference him a lot, especially in the business and when there's conflict situations, is Mark Mason from, I don't know if you read his book, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a...
F-U-C-K. So we've had Jack Barrow on the show. So the subtle art of not giving a fuck is not even a swear word here, because Jack Barrow used some other words here that were a little bit higher level than that one. Yeah, and then phenomenal book.
His other book is also good. A book about hope. Everything is fucked. So,
beautiful.
So I love his books, and I also reference a lot of his things that sometimes people, it's almost like what we spoke about COVID now as well. Sometimes people tend to make a small thing very big, and it's actually not. It's actually not that big. If you just look from a different perspective, you can break it up and make it in smaller, and solve the situation very quick.
And if you embrace that everything happens for you, not to you.
Yes.
It's difficult in the moment, because if you let's say, for example, we were recently in a situation where, out of the blue, one of our managers resigned, and that blindsided me. I'm like, I didn't see that coming. In that situation, I've got insecurities, doubts, like what did I do, like how did I fail? But thinking about it 3, 4, 5 weeks later, that happened for me, because that event caused the chain reaction of many more events, which ended up, he's happier, our branch is happier, and it's performing better.
Yes.
So it happened for the company.
Yeah.
At the moment it happened to the company, but it's actually for you if you are, I think, stable enough to get the lesson that I'm going to grow out of this.
Yes.
Very important.
That's nice. And a big thing that he also say a lot is also, no one's a special snowflake. It's not anything that happens to anyone. It's not you're not the only one in the world that this has happened to.
Fully agree.
There's a million other people that's going through the same situation now. So
it's your test. How are you gonna
react to it?
Yeah. Awesome. Yes, that's beautiful advice. Thank you.
Thank you, Bobby.
Thank you.
Yeah. So my grandmother, she was very, I see her as a mentor for me. She was a no-nonsense lady. Yeah, very strong woman. And I think it's good to have strong women as references in your life, because that's obviously, that's what you grow up with, and that's the first person you see, right? So my grandmother, definitely.
Solid, strong foundation.
Yeah.
We can only go up.
Yeah, and what I liked about her, which I try and do, is she cuts out people that has negative influence.
Okay.
That's something I struggle with, is I will tag people along. Maybe they change, but they never do.
No.
So but she was really good with that. She didn't care if she burns the bridge, that person must go.
Positive diet, no negativity allowed.
Yeah, so that's a good band thing.
Yes.
For your soul. And then Kobe, Marno's dad, he's a massive mentor in my life.
Beautiful.
I didn't grow up in an entrepreneurial family. My dad is an engineer and my mom is an archaeologist.
Oh, wow.
So they are very smart people, but they didn't grow up. I didn't grow up in a, you have to make it work. If you don't do it, it's not going to happen.
Yes.
So when I met Kobe, Marno's father, that was in the beginning, the first lessons that he forced me to do was, if there's no money, there is no pay, right? So if you don't do whatever you need to do, there's no handouts, so you need to make it work. So
you need to earn your keep.
Hard lessons in the first 10 years.
Beautiful.
But that's how, you have to sink or swim, right? And then, so Kobe. And then my third person is someone that I've never met, but indirectly we are all influenced by this guy, and his name is Koos Bakker.
Yes.
He's the CEO of Naspers. He started DSTV, Mnet.
Yes.
So indirectly, what we do, if it wasn't for him and his vision, we couldn't do what we are doing now. So he doesn't even know we exist, right? But we know he exists. So indirectly, he's influenced so many people that he doesn't even know are there. Like, he knows they're there, but he doesn't know them, right? So him as well. I see him as a big mentor for anyone that works in the broadcast industry in South Africa. He opened a lot of doors.
This is advice that somebody has given me. Have you ever reached out to him?
No.
But so here, may I challenge you?
Yeah.
So all you do is find out who his PA's PA is. This is who we are. This is what we do. We just want a 5-minute call with him or 5-minute Zoom with him, just to say thank you very much for what he's done for the industry, and just want to introduce ourselves. We want nothing from you. We just want to give you a shout out to say thank you for, the movement that you've created. Maybe he takes it, maybe he doesn't, but your chances increase if you ask.
It's very good advice.
Yeah.
Do you think you'll enjoy that?
Absolutely, absolutely, because a mentor will only mentee someone if they see those people are progressing in the field that they're mentoring them in. They will never ever give their time to people that are just giving them compliments. They get that from, Koos Bakker gets compliments from the JSE daily. He doesn't need it from us. But, the way that you have revolutionized content has inspired us to do what we do. We just want to meet you. That's just an honor to say hi to you. That's all. Maybe he says yes. I think he will. Because that will not be a stroke on his ego, but that will be a thank you for what you've done for the industry. These are the next up and coming people that will, because he must be of age already. He's in his 60s, right? He must be in his 60s. He's not going to be here forever. And if that movement is going to carry on, it's going to be done by us, not by him. So I think he'll say yes, my opinion. But the only way to find out is just to give him a shout out. So, challenge accepted.
Yeah. We must do that.
Let's pursue it. Now, fly on the wall. If you are a fly on the wall, boom, there's a room full of people. There's a conversation. Who do you want to overhear? Okay. Who's in the room and what are they talking about? Joe Black said, Kruger, I want to see where the gold is. I want to know where the gold is so I can go and dig it up. He wants to be in that conversation. Which conversation would you like to be in?
Mine is, I think, not your typical conversation.
Okay.
So, from that, I don't know if you've seen Narcos on Netflix.
Yes, I have.
About
Absolutely
Pablo Escobar's entire life.
Yes, from start to finish, yeah.
From that series came out, I got hooked on that type of content in the way of making TV and telling the history through entertainment. And then I also watched El Chapo,
yes.
which is the Mexican drug leader.
Yes.
Which is still alive
right
now.
Escaped from prison a couple of times.
Yes.
Sent the FBI a selfie with a Heineken in his private plane. I love that story.
Yes. And right now he's sitting in some lockdown prison in America.
Yes, apparently.
Yes.
So
I would love to be a fly on the wall just to see what is he doing, and is he sitting on an island somewhere enjoying another Heineken?
I think he is, but anyway.
Or has he digged a tunnel out of there
awesome.
or under witness protection?
Interesting.
Because the series ended on such a high where he got locked up and now nothing's happening. So I just want to know the next story to that.
I would love to be a fly next to you, watching him and just seeing where he actually is.
Awesome. Yes, that's exactly that.
Awesome. How about you, sir?
So, what always fascinates me is how people resolve issues, right? So, if I could be a fly on the wall, I would probably wanted to see how Nelson Mandela and F.W. de Klerk had peace talks.
Wow.
Like, just this, how do you talk about that? I think that would have been something to...
That conversation, I think, is very, very crucial. And even though, we can say they had opposing opinions, I think the reason why, it turned out the way it did is because they both, in my opinion, were looking for the same outcome, peace and change and transformation for the better. I think that was a beautiful conversation to have been a part of. Unfortunately, it wasn't recorded as far as I know.
Yeah.
But that would have been a cool meeting to attend. I agree. Wow.
Yeah, because love and peace always win. So I think that
absolutely. And when there's opposing opinion with people that are open-minded enough to see perspective, but still pursue their truth, eventually one truth will be stronger, and then we'll go with that. But if you are stubborn and say the only way to do it is my way, and not having a look into, is there a better way, then normally there's a fight and a war and whatever else. We've got that in the world, in Ukraine at the moment, and we don't want to get into that. But in an opposing opinion conversation, if the truth is the target, it's beautiful, awesome. Are you guys car guys? I've seen what you drive. I've seen what you drive as well. You guys are a little bit of car guys. But before we get into what you drive at the moment, what was your first car?
So my first car. Do you want to hear the story behind the first car as well? Okay, so my first car, I did Bible college.
Okay.
After school for a year, and I was at a seminar, like a prophetic word seminar thing, and a guy came up to me, and he gave me his car keys and the papers to the car, and he said, "God told me to give you my car."
Wow, you didn't have a car at that time?
No, it was a 3-door Golf.
It always is a Golf, man. There's always a
1100
wow.
Golf, yeah. And I was really shocked. I told him no, no, I can't accept this. But he persisted, and that was my first car.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. How about you?
So my first car was a nice car.
Of course, because you had to hustle and paint tables and sell beads and Dr. Dre earphones. Yeah.
So with that money and then the money, we sold the
what
tables.
Was the car?
It was a Mercedes A250.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. How many tables did you have to sell?
We had to sell a lot. My dad at least helped.
An A250?
Yes. So
Mine was also a Golf, by the way. Yeah. Okay, sir.
So it wasn't just my money that bought the car. My dad obviously helped. I actually wanted a classic Mustang and to build it up, but my dad thought it's better to just he doesn't want anything to go wrong next to the road.
Yes, of course.
So then we looked at a bunch of different cars, and I liked the Reynolds, I liked the Toyotas, it was nice ones. And then the Mercedes A250 was a little bit more. But then with the money that I made with the tables and the power balance and all of that, it was enough to cover it. So that was.
What's your dream car?
Definitely a McLaren.
A McLaren.
Yo,
nice.
I love
Second person on the show that says
I love
McLaren.
McLaren.
Never driven one.
Me neither.
Yeah, hopefully we
but
get
hopefully
to,
one day.
Yeah, we get to own one each. Yeah.
Yes.
What's your favorite car?
My favorite car.
Yeah.
But I'm going to bounce it back to you as well. So
no problem.
I'll answer, and then I want to know what yours.
No problem.
So I am a big Porsche fan. So I love the 911 GT2 RSs.
Yes.
Or a 911 Carrera GTS. But it's a Porsche. No.
A Porsche. So I'll answer your question, and the politically correct answer will be, because I'm in the automotive industry, I love all cars, which I do. And I'm going to give you an answer that you're not expecting. I love all cars. We get to drive. Last night I drove a FX4 Ford Ranger, the 2-liter, similar to you've got a beast of a Raptor, so it's a similar car to that. The night before that I drove a 7 Series, which is like it. You just need to show up. The car does everything else. The night before that I drove an M4 BMW, which is like, it goes from a very nice, comfortable car. You push one button.
But you're talking nicely about the BMW, so
you push one button, it goes wow. I've got an attitude. But for me, the best car, as an automotive person, is the Salt car. That's my favorite car. Why? Because we've had an opportunity to serve a customer. The economy, which is Mid-Mac, has turned. So we've served the customer. We have a reconditioning center, which means A panel beater made money if there was any touch-up work. Tires made money. Shell down the road made money. F&I, finance and insurance, employs a lot of people. They've made money. Everybody made money on the sold car. And, the customer got a vehicle that he or she is going to be hopefully driving for a couple of years and come back to us and resell him again on that service and experience. So that's my favorite car. But what would I drive now today? Oh man, we've driven everything and I can't wait. I drive Polo Vivos home. I have fun in any car. I prefer automatic though. I prefer an automatic. But if it's a sports car, I like a manual sports car. Yeah. That's sold car. Yeah, sold car is my favorite.
That's a good answer.
And then books. You're a big reader. I know you're a big reader as well. What's your favorite book? Favorite all time? Like you can read it twice a month. It wouldn't bother you.
I think it would be Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Beautiful answer.
Yeah,
beautiful book.
That's really a good book.
And that's a must read for any up and coming entrepreneur.
Yes.
Definitely. And for you, sir?
I really enjoy Malcolm Gladwell's books. So the David and Goliath book and Outliers. I really enjoy okay, let's say David and Goliath for now. That's
your favorite book. Awesome. Nice. Both are phenomenal. I haven't done that one. I haven't done Rich Dad Poor Dad in many years. So that's definitely a must for me again.
Yeah, I also feel like I need to read it.
Yeah.
Read it again.
As a company, we are currently doing The One Thing. It's a beautiful book on, I think so relevant today because there's so much distraction out there. Your eyeballs on you and your ears are getting pulled in different directions. The One Thing just focuses on what's important right now. Let's get that done first before we move over to the next one. So, nice book to read as well. Now, what's coming up next? I hear via the grapevine there's a movie, Oscar-winning movie. So maybe you want to share a little bit about that you guys are writing and producing. What cool shows are you busy with? What can we expect from the Coolerbox Brothers?
Yeah, so we are looking at doing a couple of feature films.
Yeah. So no pressure. I know you don't want to give away all the secrets, but give us some source.
So, because we want to make international films, but we want to keep the South African flair on it, because we believe that South Africa and South Africans, we have the best stories to tell.
Absolutely. It's such a diverse country.
Right? So, I mean, everyone else are telling our stories for us. Like the 95 World Cup so we want to focus on telling local South African stories. And I know people have said this a lot. It's always, the local. But we want to take really unique stories. So we are looking at teaming up people from different backgrounds and putting them together where they have to conquer evil forces that want to take over Johannesburg. So we want to do horror stories, we want to do love stories, we want to do sci-fi stories that plays off in Carnarvon in the Northern Cape with aliens attacking. So we want to do different things.
True stories.
True stories. There's a lot of nice stories to tell.
And can you reveal maybe, if you're allowed to, I don't know about NDAs, we haven't discussed this off camera, but can you reveal some of the cool new programs that you're shooting for CakeNet and VIA? Is there some unique stuff that you are really excited about that our viewers can look forward to?
So we are now in the pre-production of a TV show we're doing now for VIA, Wys My Eyes, which we're very excited about.
Wys My Eyes, that's
awesome. Because we also like property a lot.
Okay.
So that is something that I'm very, very excited for and passionate about. It is a show for VIA we're doing and showing different houses in Johannesburg.
That's beautiful.
In Gauteng.
And so is it like estate agents that are showing the houses?
Yes, estate agents with different clients showing nice. We want to try and feature a wide variety of not just normal houses, but houses, rentals, farms, businesses that get the clients that want to buy business properties.
And be part of that conversation and that dynamic.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yes, so looking forward to that.
And also another project that we are working on at the moment is we opened up a shoe store
Yes.
It's called Valley Boutique.
I've bought so many there. Like, I'm a big fan. Thank you very much for opening it.
Yeah, so the shoes,
amazing.
These are from Valley Boutique. So if you ever want nice leather shoes, you must go check it out in Pretoria and Boksburg.
Yeah,
the online store.
And you do online purchases.
Yes.
And I mean, delivery can be arranged as well.
Yes, free delivery on all the online
Beautiful.
purchases. And we at the moment we're in Boksburg and Pretoria, but we're also looking now to expand to
So Valley Boutique.
Valley Boutique.
It's an awesome store. We spent like the whole day there. The whole team is wearing Valleys. It's awesome, beautiful. Guys, I've had such an amazing experience. So much fun. Both your calm demeanors, the wisdom that you brought to us, you know, the great advice that the viewers got out of this. I've been really, truly blessed and honored to have this opportunity. Thank you very much, and I wish you all the success in the world and many, many Oscars and many, many more, you know, awards that I know you guys will win and make us as South Africans proud. Thank you.
Sam, thank you for having us, Bobby.
Yeah, thank you.
Awesome experience. Thank you.